can I ask you about defibrillators?
Yeah, you can.
Because we have some mutual friends. And
Yeah,
Recruitment are one of my kind of customers, so I went through Ashley and the team at Westray and stuff.
yeah.
Do you want to tell people about the initiative, how it came about, and what you've been doing?
Yeah, I mean, it was actually down to my old marketing manager, Chloe Page, who's now at the Arena. So shout out to Caroline Gannan at the Arena for pinching her off me, by the way.
Only if we get some free tickets for stuff, otherwise we'll cut it out.
I've tried that. I think I've burnt that bridge. I've worn that one out, I think, now, you know. So it was actually down to Chloe. It was a really good idea from her. I can't really remember the actual origin of that idea, to be honest with you. But originally we were going to try and put one on the outside of our office. Mm-hmm. But then in the process of kind of answering all the questions that you have to answer after you have a bright idea, we realised actually Darlington town centre is really well serviced for defibs. So it wouldn't have really got much value out of it. So Chloe actually, or I can't remember who it was now, put a little post out on LinkedIn just saying, you know, like, we have this defib, we want to put it somewhere of value. Does anybody want it? And Ashley put her hand up straight away. And they've got their own story with needing a defib and not having a defib and all that kind of stuff. And so she put her hand up and away we went with it. And then I think about 2 months after it went in, it got used.
Yeah.
Which is just unbelievable.
Because actually that's on the outside of my wall out here.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
But it's that beauty of just the right place, the right time, but it's well-intentioned stuff that adds value to the community. And it's because I've never, I don't believe, saved anyone's life, but in a way you have, you know, doing that. And it's so cool.
Yeah, and it is. And like, I think that's the thing there. So one of the big things, it's that like provision of value thing, you know, like, so you look at that defib as a thing, you know, like, so obviously we want to try and get some value back out of it by way of like some good PR or having done a nice thing and maybe have something that we can shout about and talk about. So there's maybe some value coming back to us. The defib provider people, they were paid whatever it was for the defib, you know, so they got value out of it and managed to sell a defib. Ashley and Westray, they managed, you know, they gave up their piece of their wall or whatever just outside of your office so that they could have that on there. So, you know, they could actually manage to get something, maybe get some good press out of it as well and maybe do something nice. And then actually ultimately it ends up getting used and potentially saving someone's life at the end as well. So there's like at no stage in any of that process is anyone not won. Mm-hmm. Everybody's won out of just doing that one little thing, you know. So that for me is like a perfect example of like business doing the thing that business should be doing and doing good for everybody that it touches, really, you know.
No, cool.
Really good example of a multi-winner.
But one of the things I've really enjoyed, because I didn't know like your school history and getting expelled and kind of going to uni and college and then kind of going to dick about on the beach in Egypt for a little bit and coming back and playing golf. But it's that kind of journey that people often worry, you know, that if you, you know, drop out of uni or whatever, is your life over? And it's not. It's just about finding the opportunities to grow and what's the next thing and just find your own feet, I guess, is so important.
It is. If I was being brutally honest the whole way through the caddying thing, even when I got turned into quite a good caddy and I was actually earning decent money from it and stuff like that, I was never really happy. If I'm brutally honest about it, you know, I was okay at it. And in a lot of ways, I really fit, like I was a perfect fit. In other ways, I just really didn't fit. And I was never really happy. And funnily enough, now, even when I went broke and I had to borrow some money and I had to get a job in the pub, at least I felt like I was doing something on my own back, you know, and it was brutal and all the rest of it. But there was you know, it was kind of okay because I suppose it's that progressive realization of a worthy ideal thing. But yeah, I think it's just a case of like, I don't know, at least if you're doing something off your own back and you've actually got a way to do it. And as soon as you've got that kind of goal, it doesn't really matter. There's a couple of books behind me there, but one of them's a book called The Power of Now by a chap called Eckhart Tolle. I don't know if you've ever read it or whatever, you're nodding, so I assume.
No, it's an active listening technique. I'm just nodding to say I'm listening.
You're just nodding away. It's pretty much my like most recommended book. I mean, I actually listen to more books than I read these days because I spend so much time in the car. But that's kind of like a very Buddhist kind of philosophy. And a lot of it's like, you know, like treating like success and failure just the same and kind of having like a very steady kind of like emotional and mental state over the whole thing. And I think that's one thing that I've kind of taken with me, because you are going to have like ups and downs. Like it's 100%. If it feels good now, it is going to get worse. Like this too shall pass, or whatever the saying is, you know, like if it's good now, it's going to get bad. And if it's bad now, it's also going to get good quite soon. You just have to wait it out a little bit, you know. And I think that having an ability to just be able to be unemotional and semi-detached from the winning or the losing of the whole thing, I think that kind of helps you kind of ride it out a little bit.